What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chaos. So, welcome to a new episode of Take It to the Table. We've got a jam-packed episode today. We are going to be talking about our current favorite theme songs and also our old-time favorite theme song. We're also going to be talking about what our favorite year in pro wrestling was. We're going to be also be talking about Vince's thoughts on the upcoming documentary as well. But yeah, also, if you have been watching the show and you haven't subscribed, just go to the subscribe button. It goes a long way. And also like the episode. So yeah, other than that, grab a popcorn, join in the conversation. Without further ado, let us take it to the table. All right. So yeah, like I said, I have an esteemed panel here, and obviously we have none other. Let me just get out of here. Dan, Soul, Jordy, Shad, and Josh at the table, jam packed as always. Let's go on the route like around the clock. Soul, how you doing today, sir?
I'm good.
Yeah, definitely. I could tell. Yeah, you're really ramped up for this, ain't it? Ready to debate, bring your 2 cents to the table. I can tell. Jesus Christ.
I'm taking a lazy week, no suit, no effort, no budget, no studio, a bed, and pajamas. I feel
Fun.
good.
Cool. That's good. Living the dream. I envy you. Good. Well, welcome to the table, as always. Obviously, to my further right is none other than Mr. Jordy in the bank. How you doing today, Jordy? Oop. No pressure.
I was muted, wasn't I?
Yes, you was.
I've tried. Honestly, I looked down at my mic, but I didn't look on the screen. But no, I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'll try and bring a little bit more life than Soul. I'm not drinking beer. I'm on blackcurrant squash.
Nice.
Out of a Mickey Mouse mug. I am, because being grown up as always, but I'm allowed to swear on this show. So
yeah, that's what happened, folks, when you simp after Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan for the past couple of months.
Oh my God!
When you were talking about like no budget, no studio, I was gonna say standard AEW fan, but I held back. But you know what? I wish I did say it now.
Yeah. Talk to his bitch ass.
Whoa, Chad, this is a family show. You can't be pulling out that kind of language.
It's not 5 minutes yet. You're gonna wait. YouTube won't promote this. God damn it, the algorithm.
Hey, I didn't say anything.
I know you did it. It's Shad. Like, God damn it.
Just bleep it. You gotta edit it anyways.
Oh, that's more editing. God damn it.
Well, look, that's what happens when you watch wrestling on Tuesday night. Turns you into degenerate.
Bleep.
What, you are?
Anyway, welcome to the table, Jordy. Obviously, he's already made himself known. Down below is none other than Shad. How you doing today, sir?
Doing pretty good, man. Mr. Tuesday himself. We're recording on Tuesday. We just did a show, which is on a Tuesday. And after this, later tonight, I'm doing a show, which is on a Tuesday.
Fuck, you're putting in that work, but we appreciate it. We thank you for your service. So yeah, and last but not least, making his return to the table for the second time, it's none other than Josh Markowitz. How you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I haven't been to the table in months. I dominated the WWE pay-per-views and all that stuff, and now I'm just back ready to argue. I haven't argued wrestling in so long, so I'm just, I'm fired up to be here.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you back, Josh. Your seat was just about to get chucked out into the timber yard, so we actually, perfect timing.
I just made it. I just made it.
Pick up your chair and slap him with it.
We're back.
Well, yes, thank you all for joining us at the table. And like I said, we've got a jam-packed episode. But first, in the words of Jigsaw, I like to play a game. Yes. These guys actually don't even know about this game, but it's nice. It's nice. Don't worry. You're not gonna rap, Soul, so don't sweat. Don't good. Save
my skin complexion does not handle that.
It's all good. It's hopefully it shouldn't take too long. But yeah, we're gonna do something called blind rankings. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about blind rankings.
Yeah,
so,
You've been brain rot by TikTok and Instagram reels.
I did that, funny enough, on shameless plug, Sunday Night Spotlight. We interviewed Alex Kane, and we had him blind rank like the top 5 Georgia rappers because he's from Georgia. So
fair dues.
Where's Georgia again? Is that like West Coast?
No, it's in the South.
Yeah, South. Yeah. Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. Yeah.
Where Bad Blood is.
New Mexico. I don't know shit. I don't know geography. I failed that in high school.
He spent 2 weeks in Mexico and it was like, yeah, this is the United States, so all the way around.
It's like, wow, New Texas is pretty nice. This is pretty nice.
God damn it. Well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So yeah, for those that are not in the know, so basically I'll be giving these guys a topic, and basically going to be listing all these people, these, you know, people or teams or whatever in this topic, and they just gotta put a number to where they think they should rank. But obviously these are all randomized. They just have to put a number on it, and then yeah, we'll see if it obviously over the course of time, do they wish it was obviously higher or lower? Let's see what happens. So yeah, it's gonna be 10. Obviously, you guys each get a round, obviously of how many. So that'll be 4, whatever, until we get to fill it up. So yeah, let me just obviously shuffle things around here. Boom.
Oh
There
my
we
God,
go.
he has
Oh,
graphics.
hey, look at
What a
this.
graphic.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's
We
why he
stepping
got
up
us on
over
this
here.
show.
Let's see chaos.
See, look, that's
Oh,
why you got
hey.
us on to show off his little neat fucking budget. You
I wish I
cheat,
did wear a
fucking
suit now.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off.
Fucking
Thank you,
etiquette.
Ben Allison, for the additional funds. Anyway,
There it is.
so yeah, we're doing blind rankings, and it is rankings of the top 10 worst WWE factions of all time. So yeah, we're gonna be ranking those. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we can think of at least 5
Where the
possible
fuck
ones.
is Judgment Day?
Oh wow!
Oh,
Which
easy
version?
now.
You got to narrow it down. Which one? No, but so yeah, we're gonna be obviously ranking them up. So I got 10 here. Obviously, no one knows who I have here, but yeah, I think this is a fairly comprehensive list. So actually, let me get a note and pad so I know which numbers have been called, just in case people get lost.
See,
So yeah,
can't
there
even
we
count.
go.
Goddamn.
And then, hey, shut up. So yeah, let's start off with Mr. No Suit here, Soul. So yeah, let's see. First team, or first faction, I should say. Retribution. Where would you rank them?
And easily number 2.
2 of all time. Okay.
Because here's the thing, Kels. There's been some really, really shitty factions in WWE history. Some that are even like just the free-man groups. Like on the top of my head, X Factor, I would say, is worse than Retribution. The only good thing about Retribution is I kind of like the premise of it, being renegades from NXT coming up and wanting to take over. That's the only thing I like about it. Besides that, a dude that has a paper plate for a face, a guy that's known as a T-bar, Mia Yim having seizures in the ring as a distraction. I mean, it's creative, but it's not really good for the medical guidelines. Nevertheless, fucking shitty Spirit Halloween costume pricks coming out and going all spooky. Yeah, fuck off. Fuck Retribution. I'm putting it number 2 because I know you'll have something in the pipeline for later.
Well, that's the whole point of this. That's the whole thing of blind ranking. So yeah, who knows? But fair enough. Who knows? You might agree with that. You might not. You might be like, oh goddamn, they're worse. But we'll see. So number 2, Retribution. All right, Jordy in the bank.
Yeah.
You got the Core.
Oh. Oh no. I feel this is one that I can't put it on the guys necessarily. And this is from a very, very much a big Cena guy. The Nexus should never have lost to that SummerSlam. They should have continued to be dominant, and they were great as the Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
What happened after that wasn't great, and it is a shame, I think, because like I remember when people like Justin Gabriel were in the Nexus, and I was excited to watch him wrestle. But then when the Core, and even Wade Barrett to an extent, as soon as the Core happened, it just lost everything. But in terms of one's the worst of all time, right? So it's like if I rank it number 1, that's the worst of all time, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna go right slap bang in the middle with them. Then I'm gonna put them 5.
5.
I feel like there's worse, and like I say, I feel bad because I know a lot of it is how people get booked and how factions get booked and stuff. But this really does feel like the backlash of bad booking, and I don't really want to put them up in the top 3 for that reason.
Yeah. Okay, fair dues. Number 5 has been filled. Cool. Shad, your one is the League of Nations.
Where did you put the core at?
5.
5, flat bang in the middle.
League of Nations, man. Put at 6.
6? Give it 6. Fair dues. Okay. 6 has been chalked off. Josh, your one is gonna be the Mexicools.
Oh my lord.
Nice.
In the words of Kevin Hart.
Yeah, horrible idea and offensive that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do we'll put it at 4. 4.
4.
Had my boy,
Okay.
They had my
4.
boy Hoovy though. Hoovin' too.
Yeah, he
Come on.
lasted quite long, didn't he?
Yeah, he hoovered his way right to fucking catering.
All right, moving back up to you. So this one, we're being diverse here. The welcoming committee, which
To the
consisted of
fucking-
Natalia, Carmella, and Tamina.
What did they do? I don't
Exactly.
even know this was a
They were
faction.
concierges.
They were actually called the welcoming committee. They
Did nothing.
yeah, they briefly
Put
got
those
started on
ones
SmackDown, and it was when James Ellsworth was with Carmella.
Oh, I remember that now.
Yeah.
So the fact that I didn't even remember that, I'm going to put them at 1.
Oh, flipping hell. Okay.
I don't
One's
know.
cracked off.
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of crazy to put them
What's,
at 1.
what's worse than a group? We at least we remember Retribution because
We
they were
don't know
so
what's to
bad.
come though, Soul. We don't
Yeah,
know
there's
what's to
still a
come.
lot
It
left
might
to
be
come
like
that I
at,
can-
at
All right,
least.
all right, committee. All right, simmer your knickers.
No, you
All right.
you could keep it at 1. That's
No,
your
it's
choice.
not
No. Yeah, it's done. It's done. One is
Oh,
It's
taken.
done. Yeah,
No.
don't worry about it.
Good
I-
luck.
I agree.
I agree, Saul. I agree. You don't remember
The
it. It's
American
1.
has my back.
You don't even know who's in the faction. It's 1.
But what if no one remembers one? What if all of us are like, who? Then we're in trouble.
Oh shit.
That's the fun of it. All right, Jordy, your next one.
Yeah.
Lucha House Party. I love Shad's reaction.
That joint was.
Where did you put Mexicools?
You put in 5.
No, I put the core in 5.
Oh, sorry. Did you put it 6 then? Yeah, you put it 6.
Mexicools must have gone in 6.
Yeah.
No, I thought League of Nations. What was League of Nations at?
Oh, sorry. Apologies. Yeah, you put them at 4. You put Mexicools at 4, and you put League of Nations. There was League of Nations at 6.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, apologies.
So,
You're right.
So what's still available? Because
3,
I think-
7, 8, 9, and 10.
I'm not putting them in 3. I'm like 7. Go 7. Go 7.
7. Yeah. Okay.
They were fun. They were fun.
Yeah. There's much worse, and I feel like if I put them in 3 and our top 3 are taken, and we're about to
they had a
see
good
some
theme.
stinkers, I reckon.
Fair dues. Okay. Who is it? Shad. All right. Your one is X Factor.
Oh man. So what is it? It's 3,
8, 9,
3,
and 10.
8, 9. Yeah.
8, 9, and 10.
Chad, think about it. X Factor had a banger theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the TV show in the UK, or are we talking
'cause that's the joint. X Factor. That was because they had what like.
Justin
I
Credible, X Factor, and
didn't. I
H-Man.
like the members of it. Right. It was just kind of whatever as a team. Just Incredible is that X-Pac is that dude. So what is it? You said 7, 8, and 10. And
No, 3, 8, 9, 10.
3, 8, 9, and 10. You know what? 10.
10.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm fine
Okay.
with that.
Okay. Fair enough. Josh. All right. This one's gonna be a bit controversial.
Okay.
The WCW ECW Alliance. The Alliance.
What do we got left?
8 and 9. No, 3, 8, and 9.
3, 8, and 9. I'm gonna go 3, 8, 9. I'm gonna go 8.
8. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, 3's too far, and something's gotta be better.
Such a kind heartedness for the alliance.
Kind heart.
Josh showed it more love than Vince did.
But may I
Stronger
ask, like,
together.
why 8 exactly, and not higher?
I just 3 is way too high. We're jumping too many spots at 3, and 8 and 9 is just. I feel like there's gonna be something a little bit better at 9.
Okay.
Judgment
I'm
Day.
looking forward. I'm looking forward to the next one. I hope so. Judgment Day for Soul.
PFC.
They're in the making. They're definitely like at the end. We'll put if we do another blind rankings. Soul, you got the Un-Americans.
So it's 3 or 9, right?
3 or 9.
I'm gonna make Jordy sweat his arse off, and hopefully that mustache falls off with how much panic he's gonna have to put someone at 3. So put the Un-Americans at 9.
I like the Un-Americans.
I have to put them at 3. I don't have a choice. It's out of my
But
hands.
who's Jordy putting at 3? Who's he gonna have to sweat his arse off and defend this take on?
This is also another controversial take because I actually enjoyed them, but yeah, fair enough. The Spirit Squad.
Oh, they were good.
If they don't
That's what I'm
deserve to
saying.
be that high up.
That's a shame.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
a shame.
It is
There's,
gonna be Spirit
there's
Squad.
definitely worse on this list. further
Yeah.
down. But
That's
the
what I was-
game's the game. So I hope you're happy. You did this. They could have been 9, but
Yeah.
alas, here we are.
Yeah, there were big honorable mentions. The Oddities. I don't know if anyone remembers that. Well, that was the Insane Clown Posse in WCW.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then
Final Testament.
Final Testament is still ongoing, but that's a good shout for sure.
New
The
Nexus.
Cabinet. Remember the Cabinet? Orlando Jordan, the Basham Brothers.
Jordan, Basham Brothers. Yeah.
What was Becky Page and Charlotte's faction, the sorority sister or something?
Oh, that was the initial group, and then they found it was a porno, and then they swapped it for something else.
The new Nexus was as bad as the
New
core
Nexus as well. Yep, that's another
Straight
one.
Edge Society.
What about Vince's
Nah.
Devils?
Vince's Devils. Yes, I was just about to
Devils.
say that. I was
It's
just
the
about to
worst
say
of
that.
all
That
time.
was-
What
That
about
was
the
it.
new breed in ECW? New ECW.
anything ECW was ass. I'll stand by it.
Ooh.
Oh, that was other one. PMS, Pretty Mean Sisters.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, that was Terry, Jacqueline, Ryan Shamrock, and
Ooh.
Sean Stasiak.
What about the Forgotten Sons?
That's a horrible name.
Yeah, it is. And the Forgotten Sons. Yep, that's another one. Yeah, that's
You know what? I
another
bet you could do this with tag team champions, and you'd still get some horrific tag teams that have been champions.
Oh yeah, 100%. Flipping Braun Strowman and was it Nicholas?
The little kid, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
The little kid, man.
Any makeshift teams that just ended up with the championships. Yeah,
I liked Braun and Ricochet, but then one of them got injured. Was it Braun? And then they just fell apart.
Yeah, but they weren't tag
I
team
like-
champions. Though.
Remember
Yeah. No,
Cesaro?
they weren't champions. but I
Fun
like them
fact.
together.
Fun fact: Nicholas grew up to be a WWE superstar, or
did?
now an AEW superstar. His name is Adam Cole.
Oh, what the hell?
Mhm.
Damn.
Okay,
Fair enough.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, that is the blind rankings, everybody. As you can see from obviously on your right there when it's eventually populated. This episode is brought to you by Wraith Energy. Wraith Energy is the perfect drink for gamers. It offers 200 milligrams of caffeine, 1,000 milligrams of taurine, antioxidants, amino acids, 0 sugar. It gives me that extra edge to beat Roman Reigns on Legendary on 2K24. It also helps when I'm forced by Ben Allison to do videos for him about his love for soul. Just by using my promo code Chaos Wraith, you get 10% off your entire order. They have awesome flavors such as the Cosmo, the WTD, the Sour Apple, Gamer Bathwater, or my personal favorite, Porn Star.
Hello, ladies.
No clumps, no grainy aftertaste, just absolutely amazing. So use promo code Chaos Wraith right now and get 10% off your order. Thank you, Wraith, for sponsoring this video. So yeah, let's go into some important topic, shall we? Like I said, we're going to be talking about our current favorite theme song as well as our all-time theme songs. Obviously, as wrestling fans, we become so uh for lack of a better term, glued to our favorite songs, and it just gets us in the hype. You could play them anywhere, play it in the gym, blast it out your car, doesn't matter. It still bangs wherever you play it. So yeah, I just want to get your guys' thoughts on what's your current favorite theme song from any wrestlers in WWE or even AEW. It's up to y'all. And obviously, your overall all-time theme song. I'll go off first right now. So yeah, my current theme song right now is one man named Trick Williams. I mean, you can't go wrong with that theme song. I feel like that if and when he debuts on the main roster, they better not touch that. That is something that has to um carry with him throughout his WWE career. And then I don't know, maybe put some of Booker T's commentary in there somehow. I don't know, even if he's not on the commentary team. But yeah, no, that song gets me hyped. I have it on repeat on 2K24. It is my created characters theme song on 2K24. And yeah, it is just hard hitting. It's up there with the Usos theme song. But yeah, it was a close race between the Usos theme song and Trick Williams. But yeah, that is my current one. And my all-time theme song is, of course, The Brood. I mean, Jim Johnston at his finest. Jim Johnston, let me get his name right. One of his finest creations. And yeah, it's just, you could play that anywhere and you still get heads nodding. Yeah, heads nodding. And yeah, it's just still backs to this day. I think it's timeless. One of the most timeless theme songs of all ever. And yeah, I just absolutely just in love with it. So yeah, those are my two, Trick Williams and The Brood. Let me start with Jordy. What's your personal favorite theme song currently and all time?
Gee, I wonder what.
Well, listen, you should be happy because I'm choosing an AEW star as my current theme song.
Oh my God, Jordy, you're amazing. Oh my God, have you ever
Thank you.
Break that mustache?
I really appreciate that. I said earlier, yeah, I don't get a lot of compliments, so I'll take them when they come, even if they're sarcastic. No, yeah, it's a tricky one. There was a few that were floating around. I've got to shout out Joe Hendry. He definitely came into my mind, but I had to, and also Sami Zayn as well. I very much like theme songs that when you hear that first note, you know who they are. It gives an impact, the crowd pop. So my current, and I almost feel a bit cheating because like he's not currently wrestling because of an injury, but it's Metalingus Edge, his theme song. Honestly, there's not many songs out there, but put that song on, I feel like I could run through a wall. Like, like X-Men 3 when Juggernaut's just sprinting through walls. Like put that song on and that's how I feel. And I also think not only my personal preference to it, but it's the song that we heard when the first ever Money in the Bank was cashed in. Obviously, Edge's return to the Royal Rumble was one of the most iconic pops in history. So I think, as well as my personal preference to it, it interlinks with WWE history at this point, that song. And I think it's timeless. So that's current, if you can say that. I know it feels a bit cheating because obviously Edge, don't know how many years he's got left in him. Or, well, Edge has got none, actually. Adam Copeland is who I'm talking about. But all time, yeah, not much of a surprise here. John Cena's theme song, I think it is the best of all time. And there's reasons for it. I think, again, that impact, that instant, then a little build, then the trumpets. The fact that he raps on it himself as well, I like that. I think the album that he did has gone platinum or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's another thing where you can play that song to somebody who doesn't know, who doesn't really watch wrestling, and they know that that's John Cena's music. And I think that it in itself is something that there's more. Don't get me wrong, I'm not oblivious to the fact that he's the only one. He certainly isn't. There's definitely more. But having that, it almost became a meme, didn't it, for a while? The whole and it's John Cena. I just think I don't know. I think it when you look at the wide scope of it, I don't think you'll find a better one personally. But I am a Cena guy, so of course I was always going to say that. And I've heard it live at a pop as a surprise at Money in the Bank as well. And
Of
that
course.
I honestly, I felt like my head was going to fall off. I felt like I was going to melt. There was like a split second when I looked on the screen, and I could see his name and I could hear the music, but there was a moment where I was like, "What's happening? Like, I don't understand." And then obviously everyone just went mental. So yeah, they're my two.
Yeah. That's a good shout, especially when it happened when he showed up at Money in the Bank. I was there as well, and that was, and it bangs in the arena. It definitely, it slaps in the in an
And
arena.
now we're at a point where we sing it back rather than having half the crowd booing, half the crowd cheering, because that was a great point in time. But now, literally, people rap the whole song to him. It's just like I love it.
Yeah. No, that's understandable, and Metalingus as well. That's you could play that. That could get you hyped in the gym. You could play that on your.
It's a good song, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good song overall, 100%. And I love the story behind it as well. I think he detailed it on Chris Van Vliet one time, and of how he came in possession of it. He was just pretty much just given to him, and he just took it with him. So those are very good choices. We're kind of surprised with Cena, but yeah, still, I totally agree. Totally slaps. Shad, you are obviously a music guy, as
Yes,
we
sir.
all know. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what's your current favorite theme song and right now of all time.
So yeah, to your point, right? I'm a battle rapper. I'm a rapper. So I've done music for a while, and I have learned to appreciate individuals who have songs that are their very own. I think being an artist, Chaos is an artist himself. It's something that we take a lot of pride in, and I can only imagine having a lot of pride and how awesome it can be coming out to your theme song and it being your actual song. And for me, my favorite current theme song is without a doubt Big Pressure by Swerve Strickland. Just the initial the swerve to it with Flash Garments to when the beat drops. Obviously, with the entrance itself, you got Nana hitting the dance, but it's got that gritty, hip hop sound that does make you want to just drive, do 95 on the highway and just kind of, let it bang. And then it's to a point where, it's such a good hip hop song where he's even had like people like Bun B on the remix, right? A hip hop legend himself. Like a West Side Gun on the remix as well. Like I think it's really dope to see. I think it fits Swerve's aesthetic as a champion, how he just comes out there. But like just as a song itself, I think it's a great song. It's something that is on my Spotify playlist as well. So Swerve, Big Pressure is currently my favorite theme song in professional wrestling. An AW guy, golf clap soul. I know you like it. All time, man. This one is difficult because I am an old man. I am a child who grew up during the Attitude Era and lived as in a young older kid going into like my middle school to teenage years, watching like the Ruthless Aggression era, and so many good songs, man. You picked a great one, both of y'all did, for your all-time ones, like the Brood classic. Jim Johnston is a absolute legend. For me, and this is just personal, it may not be the best entrance song, but I'm breaking it down with music that I like, and I'm really picking it as a theme song that I listen to. But it's My Time by Triple H. I love the the 1 2 it's on, and like I don't know what the name of that band is that did perform it, but they have a Rage Against, the guy sounds just like dude from Rage Against the Machine. Even I think it may be the same dude who did the DX song as well. But It's such a dope, gritty sound to it. And Triple H is my favorite, like personal favorite wrestler of all time since I was a kid. And that song was just something. I remember having that volume. I forgot what volume number it was. It was like maybe 6 or something for that WWE CD. And I used to play that nonstop as a kid, man. So that song holds a lot of sentimental value to me. I thought it was a dope track. So that's my personal all-time favorite wrestling track theme song.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. Yeah, solid choices. I saw that. I just was reading. I was trying to do a research to see who did it. So it was actually Jim Johnson that actually made the song, and it was Chris Warren that was doing the rap on there. That also did obviously the DX song and whatnot. So I think he also performed at WrestleMania one time.
Yeah, they did perform that live. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm saying
Yeah,
they look like a bootleg Rage Against the Machine, man.
I remember that.
No, I hear that. No, yeah, I like I said, yeah, I do prefer, you know, that song more than to Motorhead. I think obviously Motorhead is more obviously closely associated more to Triple H, but I think
Yeah,
in
I
production,
like
my time.
I like My Time better than It's All About the. I like it better than that too. My
Mm.
favorite Motorhead song that he probably has is the Evolution one. I like the Evolution theme
Yes.
song a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Triple H with his themes, genuinely, because I did a little bit of looking at stats in terms of Spotify streams, but Triple H walks it. Like literally, 2 versions of the game are got about 41,000 streams a day. Like, that's the second and third most streamed, and then King of Kings is in at 10th, and 9th, 2 different versions. Like he genuinely slaps. Like,
Yeah.
he's
100%. No,
what's number 1 is very interesting. You know, see if any of you can guess it. If you've not looked,
number
please don't tell
one.
me Joe Henry.
no.
Okay, thank God.
Cult of
Time.
Personality.
All time.
Is
Get
it
in
Cult
there.
of Personality?
This fire burns.
Yeah.
That was on my list too.
I play that nonstop.
I
Yeah,
love that song.
50,000 streams a day.
I used to play that song before the dark times.
It's like block this user from now on. Now, oh, fair enough. Yeah, Fire Burns. It still bangs. I don't know how he feels about that theme song, but I think he should bring it back for at least like one time. Do something like what Drew did when he brought back Broken Dreams.
Yeah,
that was a nice surprise. But yeah, fair enough. Solid choices. Nice one, Shad.
One other thing though, this might be a hot take because you said Metalingus. I loved Edge's the Rob Zombie joint that he had.
Oh God,
Never
no!
gonna stop. Man, I used to love that joint. You ain't like that one?
No. Where is it? Where is it?
What? That joint was fire. It's not better than Metalingus, but I didn't think it was bad.
It just didn't fit him at the time, especially when he went in that babyface phase when he was with Hulk Hogan. Nah.
That's true.
Seriously, he was corny as hell. I'm sorry. There's one before that. You think you know me. Hard.
That one was good too.
Yeah. That one was good. That was more him. But fair dues. All right, who's next? Soul. What are your 2 current and all-time faves? I can't wait to hear this shit. I'm just...
And so current, I'm gonna pick somebody who's still obviously who's actively wrestling, not injured. So I looked at my Spotify Wraps, right? Like what songs have been trending on there. I think songs that have been trending on there are obviously Cult of Personality by Punk, Broken Dreams by Drew, Marina Shafir's, Preston Vance, The Righteous, Kenny Omega's Battle Cry, Hangman Page. But all in all, right now that's being used, I've got to go with Kazuchika Okada's Rainmaker theme. It's just good. It's just one of my worries of Okada signing with AEW is I was just going to get a Mikey Ruckus theme. And don't get me wrong, Ruckus does good themes, but the Rainmaker theme is like another level of hype. And if you go back and watch Okada's career from returning to New Japan, G1's All In, and obviously AEW, the theme still hits very hard. It's just beautiful with the orchestralness of it, and then the impact and the continuous rhythm. I genuinely love it, and I think it's one of the best themes going in wrestling today. Now, all time's a toughy one. All time's a very, very, very toughy one. But I think it speaks to my music tastes. Is that when I listen to music, I always like to put a story to it. Like I generally like to listen to music while I play video games, and when I know a song is good is when it makes me want to play the game harder so much that I break a controller. But they're 60 quid now in this day and age, so I can't do that. So for me, my favorite wrestling theme of all time, I'm gonna have to go with Kenny Omega, the Devil Cry, the one he had in New Japan. The orchestralness of that, the choir, even the slow burn of that. But I will say though, a very, very close second to that is AJ Styles' New Japan theme. I really, really, really like that theme as well, and I think it's AJ's best theme he's ever had. But I think Devil Cry with Kenny Omega is just superbly better, just because of its sinisterness. AJ's theme, you can see it being a very babyface theme or even a tweener, but like with Kenny's New Japan theme, it is so sinister that I can understand why people think it's his best theme ever. So yeah, that's for me. It's gonna piss people off because they didn't say Metalingus or fucking voices, but hey, I got interrupted for anything. I'm sorry. What do you want from me?
No, don't diss the Metalingus. That's still a banger. But no, I agree. Those are very solid solid shouts, especially the
You
Kenny
didn't
Omega one.
disappoint me in any way by picking crap choices. I always knew you would. Like there was no disappointment at all. Sorry, coming a mile off.
Sorry, Peter.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
No. So honestly, God, those are very solid choices, especially the Kenny Omega one. I was very surprised you were going to choose that one, to be fair. But I'm only the only time I remember that one, definitely when he does the One Winged Angel theme, the Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that was a very good one.
Yeah, that's
That
yeah,
was
and
dope.
it suits it perfectly. He did a very wise choice. I'm not gonna lie, I have not heard AJ Styles' theme song because so for me, my favorite of his is when he was in TNA. I still think that's still bad. I think that was still quite.
His New Japan theme is on some other level. Like when you listen to it's like rock, but then quiet melody, and then hits in with a wee bit of rap, but then it hits straight back to that rock section, and it's like, why did he dump this? Why couldn't have Def Rebel or whoever the fuck was in the shitty themes at the time, which has been like, nah, I will pay the money for it because it's so good. It's like, AJ, no, AJ.
That's fair enough. Wait, sorry. Quick. Does AJ Styles' new theme have him talking? I can't remember. Is that a different? If I remember?
Yeah, you don't want none, and then
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like,
he does. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh Jesus Christ. Yeah,
It's
you're right.
so trash.
Yeah,
It's
it's
I
trash.
like doing that, don't they? Because they've done it to Priest as well. Priest.
They've done it with pretty much everybody. It's
Yep.
and God knows what Bailey has, but yeah. These other choices. I need to check out.
Oh man, what about Bailey's old theme, bro?
Bailey. No, her current one is ass. It's worse.
No, I'm talking about the old one was kind of slapped.
Oh,
The
yeah,
hugger
this
joint.
Oh,
is
one's
bad.
fire.
I used to love that joint. And you know, hold on, before we get to Josh, I know that Soul might agree to this one, man. A very underrated one. Zack Ryder.
fuck
Oh, yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Both versions of Radio. Both
Mhm.
versions are fucking.
Those were banger tracks.
Look, I'll say this
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. I love Cardona. I would love to see him in AEW as the AEW World Champion. But if he goes back to WWE and he gets Radio, I watch Raw and SmackDown weekly. I don't give a shit. I will watch Raw and SmackDown so I can hear Matt Cardona come out to Radio again. Like that hits at the Rumble. Yeah, that's gonna hit like crack.
Yeah, you're right. I completely agree.
You heard it here, folks. He's gonna
What a
mark
tune.
out for Matt Cardona. That's gonna be crazy. Fair dues. All right, last but not least, Josh, let's hear your current favorite theme song and of course, all time.
Yeah, mine are pretty generic, although I do want to give a non-generic shout to this is like super random, and I just thought about this like 5 minutes ago. But if any of you remember David Otunga's theme song, fucking great song. And it was always playing in the background of WWE 12, if I remember, which was the video game before they even had like a 2K or whatever, or SmackDown vs. Raw. They chalked that. So I just like That's always just ingrained in my head. So that's a good song. Just putting that out there. Not my favorite though all the time, but current theme. Soul's gonna hate that. This isn't about the faction themselves. They suck right now, but the other side, Judgment Day. I think the song is dope. I think it's like good rock. It just fits before Damien and Rhea left and all this bullshit happened. I think it fit them really, really well. Also, not to mention it's made by Alter Bridge, who also made Metalingus. So that's just just a nod to that to Alter Bridge. No slander there at all for Alter Bridge. They're great. And it's just one of those songs you can blast in the gym, and just lock in. I personally listen to it like every day. I listen to it when I exit my room and walk to my class. It just blocks, man. It makes me feel like I'm in the Judgment Day, even though I'm like a little 5'6", pipsqueak. But
That was JD.
yeah, yeah, that's true. JD is yeah, I think I'd fuck up JD, but we'll
Don't headbutt him. Don't headbutt him.
All time, I'm gonna do "Somebody's Gonna Get It" by Mark Henry. I think first of all, if you're 3-6 Mafia on a wrestling song, like you best bet that's gonna hit. Like it's gonna be an unbelievable song. It's gonna be a big track, and like it just made so much sense. Like it was the world's strongest man coming out to a song that says "I'm gonna kick your ass," and those were literally the lyrics. Like I remember because I'm a young fuck, so I was like 8 years old, and like my mom would like turn down the volume during his entrance because I couldn't hear the word ass, and I didn't find out how the theme went until I was like 15 years old. So I figured it out, and it's just such a good song. It fit Mark Henry so perfectly. And then I remember I saw this recently, but I wasn't even I was a year old when this happened, but in May of 2006. 3-6 Mafia came and performed it live on like an episode of SmackDown, and it was such a sick performance. Like Mark Henry's aura is just off the charts. And it just described Mark Henry in a song. I thought it was great.
Yeah, that's a very, very, very solid shout. Yeah, Mark Henry's theme song. And it even from like his entrance, the camera work of it. I remember it was you see him coming out, and he's like the camera was right behind him. You just see this big, shadowy, character coming through,
Colossus.
and he's just like, somebody's going to get their ass kicked. Someone's going to get their wig split. It was just like that is so gangster as fuck. Yeah, you didn't want to be in the Hall of Pain for sure. So yeah, very, very solid shout. And just when you said about you walk into your classes listening to it's gone out my head. What was the first one? Sorry.
Yeah, Judgment Day.
Judgment Day, yeah. It just reminded me. I could imagine you. I don't know if you've seen the American Psycho meme where you see him with the headphones, and he's just walking through the office, just like
that's exactly what it is.
Class.
That's exactly what it is. That's a great reference.
I just love that. I love that.
Great.
So yeah, cool. Very, very solid shouts. I don't think I've left anyone out. No, I have not. So yeah, fair enough. Everyone in the comments as well, let me know your current favorite theme song and of course all-time favorite theme. I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Honorable mention for Bobby Roode before we go on. Sorry, I forgot to mention him.
Bobby Roode, yep, that is a solid one. 100%. For me, it was I've also in terms of all time, it was going to be between the Brood and also Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme, the Disturbed version. I fucking love it. The guitar on that is hard. I don't care. I think it's definitely the best remake of his original theme song. I hated the one where it was like I hate that one. That was the shit. But Disturbed, Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme, hard. Absolutely hard.
I wonder if that's on Spotify because I'm not actually listening to it.
It is. I think. Yeah, it definitely is. It's in my. It's in my playlist. And I think I would say definitely. The Rock has so many versions of his theme song, but it was one where it was like in 2001, and later down the years, it just sounded very it sounded very shiny. It sounded very very live music and stuff. There was one where it was during the the invasion time, and I think that was it. That was the best version up until it did the Hollywood Rock one. You can't beat Hollywood Rock's theme, but yeah, definitely those two are they were fighting for old time faves before I chose the Brood. Anyway, moving on. While we're on the subject of our favorite pastimes or our favorite things, let me just go into our personal favorite years in pro wrestling. Obviously, what I mean by our favorite year of which year had your favorite matches, your favorite memories, favorite storylines. favorite WTF moments. And yeah, it could be either on TV or maybe you saw a show live, whatever it was. Like, what was your, outright favorite year that you thought, yeah, like this year is perfect for wrestling. It's been perfect for me. No one can tell me otherwise. Whatever. Just what was your personal favorite year in pro wrestling of all time? Let me go with yeah, I'm gonna save you in a bit. Jordy, what's your favorite year of all time in pro wrestling, please?
I'll start off. Yeah, I don't know if it's a hot take or not, because I feel like nostalgia rules a lot when this question gets asked. But when you asked me, I couldn't help but look past 2023, because when you look at the statistics, when you look at the numbers that got done, they were unbelievable. And this is wider scope as well, because at first I was thinking WWE, what's been the best year for WWE, but that's ignorance, because I don't watch AEW that much, and I know I make jokes, but in all seriousness, the fact that in 2023 AEW, I don't know what the official number was at this point, but they sold a hell of a lot of seats at Wembley Stadium and put on a hell of a show. And that's what I mean. I struggle to look past the time where wrestling was this hot. And you can look back at sort of the WCW days, but I don't know if it was at the same level that it is now, and I don't think we'll kind of know until another 20 years passes and we're looking back on it through rose-tinted glasses. But on a personal level as well, I went to watch Money in the Bank. Obviously, that was 2023. I started my Instagram page about wrestling in 2023. I got in the ring for the first time in 2023. So for me personally, 2023 is just the one, but I genuinely do think that there's an argument that it is statistically, and I don't know and I know Logan Paul is a controversial figure, but obviously people like him coming into the fold, Bad Bunny, Snoop Dogg at WrestleMania. I just feel like that was the year where all of a sudden wrestling went back into the mainstream. And I maybe at the end of the year, I would say 2024, but right now, I would actually put it at say July 2023 to July 2024 and do that 12-month spell. Because again, things like Punk coming back at Survivor Series was huge. Like, I just struggle to see past it. And with the new regime being in place as well, it could have gone south, but it didn't. So yeah, 2023 for me.
All right. Yeah, solid. Yeah. A lot of shit happened in 2023, whether it was for the better or worse of a wrestling. But yeah, it's yeah, the past, yeah, from 2023 onwards, I don't think wrestling has ever been so is the right term, prevalent, just
I think so.
it's just been really, really active. This is the most active I've ever seen it since I've been a wrestling fan, like without question. So, so yeah, that's a very good shout. Josh, let me go to you. What is your personal favorite year of wrestling?
Yeah, this is kind of a controversial pick because it's a really odd year in wrestling. Um, I'm gonna take 2019. 2023 really is a great pick, by the way, Jordy. Good stuff. But I'm gonna go 2019, because on the mainstream side, like WWE, like one of the worst years in WWE history, if not the worst. Like Taker, Goldberg, Kane Velasquez in WWE, like Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. There was like the whole Hell in a Cell thing with Seth Rollins and the Fiend. Like it was just a really, really, really fucking bad year for WWE, and I couldn't even sit there for 3 hours and watch Raw. I still can't now. So imagine back then, I don't think anybody was watching Raw for 3 hours straight. In 2018, it just wasn't good television, and that's what it was. But then there was the debut of All Elite Wrestling, and to me, 2019 AEW was like peak. Like I just go back always and just watch Dynamite or any of the pay-per-views. I just feel like it was just so fresh. Everything, the logo, the new ring, the new everything, the barricade, the stage, the new commentators, the new wrestlers, everything just felt so fresh. And I don't think AEW could have came in on a better time because it was when WWE was at its lowest. Then here comes this brand new company with the best indie wrestlers in the world and commentators, Justin Roberts, JR, just everything just worked out perfectly. And I'm not going to talk about how it is now because it's obviously it's declined a little bit. But 2019 it really was peak. You know, they were putting on 5-star matches on cable television. You know, we were seeing Kenny Omega live TV main eventing every week, Kenny Omega versus Pac on Dynamite, like just matches that felt like they belonged on pay-per-views that I should be paying for. They were free. And it felt like we, as WWE fans, because for the majority of time, that's all we really have to watch besides, you know, going and watching Japanese stuff and Mexican stuff. But it felt like we really needed something new, and that's what AEW gave us. You know, I feel like I could go on for hours talking about 2019 AEW, but you know, Double or Nothing, All Out, and Full Gear were all in 2019. They were just all great pay-per-views. My favorite match of all time, one of my favorite matches came from that year, was the Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks in the Escalera Muerte ladder match, All Out 2019. Just an absolute banger. And obviously the Young Bucks and Lucha Bros go way far back, but really just was such a great match. And I think just 2019 was one of the more important years of pro wrestling. It was the year we really got a true alternative, and just felt like you could watch pay-per-view caliber matches for free on Wednesday nights. And in my opinion, it doesn't get better than that.
Nah, yeah, I totally agree. 2019 was just phenomenal year for sure. Like you said, true alternative, something that could definitely possibly rival WWE. And obviously, like I say, yeah, WWE was in the pits creatively. So yeah, we were crying for change. And let's be honest, without the creation of AEW, like who knows, WWE probably wouldn't be as high as it is right now. I mean,
That's a good point.
regardless of the change of regime or anything like that, you know, they just
Yep.
obviously were just creatively bankrupt. And yeah, so we definitely got to thank for the creation of AEW and Tony Khan. And like you said, that was my introduction to Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks. I've always known the Young Bucks, obviously with Generation Me and all that kind of stuff, but I never really followed them afterwards. So yeah, when I saw them doing the stuff that they did, you know, when they were fighting for the AAA the AAA tag team championships and all that kind of stuff, it was just like, yeah, this is what we're hungry for it. So yeah, and ever since then, AEW hasn't hit those heights. No, I'm joking. I'm playing. No, I'm playing. I'm playing.
Kind of true.
I'm playing.
Bang, bang.
No, but yeah, no, it's been those are great shouts. 2019 was a phenomenal year, and yeah, that's all I got to say about that. So, what is your favorite year of all time?
That is a tough question, especially for me, because I only started watching wrestling in 2019. So like that's the funny thing about it. Like my year's experience is very, very short. So I think I had to do a top three. Third would be 2023, obviously WrestleMania 39 in LA, then All In. Second would be 2020, just because it was the real first exposure watching shows live weekly. Like Dynamite and Daily's Place is still such a high regarded memory for me. And even the Thunderdome, like while it wasn't the best, it was still my first exposure to watching WWE regularly and enjoyable for me. But number one is a time period where I felt like every show was just fun and enjoyable, even from across the board of WWE and AEW. I didn't really notice the bickering between the two fandoms as much. Maybe that's just because I wasn't in the right message boards or whatever, but it felt like both companies were settled in a good place. So that year is 2021. 2021 is my favorite year of all time for wrestling. On the AEW side, Revolution, yeah, the hardcore exploding barbed wire death match didn't end the people the way it wanted to, but they went off a good story with it, with Eddie Kingston's PTSD. Obviously they had Double or Nothing, which was solid as well that year. They had All Out, which obviously with the First Dance, Punk and all that, still one of the most regarded shows in AEW history and wrestling history. But Full Gear is my favorite show of that year, just because I think for me especially, it was the first time I seen a long-term storyline paid off, that being Hangman Page getting the title off Kenny Omega. Like I was so enthralled with that storyline. It's the reason why I wanted to have an AEW World Championship replica, because that story was so loved by me, and I love Hangman and Kenny, and I love what they did in the ring. Even on the WWE side, I thought SummerSlam and Money in the Bank were really great that year. The Rumble, while yes, it was behind closed doors at that point, I believe, because Edge won it and Bianca won it, it was still very enjoyable. Even Mania that year, I think it was the first one without fans as well. The first one with fans coming back, and minus a few hiccups. Like that Bianca and Sasha Banks match that year was very, very, very good, like an exceptional match. But all in all, 2021, I think it's just such a lovable time for me to look back on, and it's probably the era of shows I watch back the most because it truly just was a magical time period of wrestling.
Yeah. No, without a doubt, that's a very good shout on that. Yeah, that was it was a very fun year, like I said. Yeah, with the comeback of the fans after I said a global pandemic that almost crippled the economy and whatnot. But yeah, it was a good time for togetherness, and they did the best thing, which give us a great main event in Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, and obviously the second night we got a great triple threat: Daniel Bryan, Edge, and Roman Reigns. So yeah, that was a good Mania for sure. And the Royal Rumble, yeah, like you said, the Royal Rumble was good as well. So
stack them, pin them, and send them to Tony.
Yo, hey, I gotta run this back. Hold on. Where is it?
I gotta put that on a t-shirt, bro.
That's dope.
That is sick. Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, it was a good year. I was gonna say something, and now my mind's completely gone. I'll get back on that. But yeah, Josh, well, let's go. Let's finish off with you. What is your personal favorite year?
You already went.
Wait, no, I already went. Shot.
Shad, sorry, apologies.
Good.
You good, bro. You good.
The cider is getting to me. I've had about 5 cans. I'm sorry.
There you go.
I'm not drunk on the job. Shad, last but not least, what is your personal favorite year?
All right. I've been hearing the word alternative all day. Let's talk about competition for a second. Let's talk about a year a company was beating WWE in the ratings. Let's talk about the essence of the Monday Night Wars. Let's talk about 97. 97 is the best wrestling year because you had WCW at its peak, post NWO coming in, hot commodity. They are the cool kids of pro wrestling. You got a thriving cruiserweight division. You got classic matches and classic title reigns of long live Eddie Guerrero. You got Rey Mysterio going crazy. Young Chris Jericho. As much as we don't like him now, Goldberg being introduced into the fold, and WCW was really, really applying a lot of pressure to where Vince had to change everything up, and we got an edgier product of the WWE. We got the seeds planted for the Attitude Era. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin, arguably one of his best years character-wise, prior to obviously getting hurt. But even after that, with the feuds with the McMahons, feuds with Bret Hart, him and Bret Hart, classic submission match. You had Undertaker going as strong as he went. You got the introduction to Kane. The storyline of Undertaker and Kane came into fruition. And last but not least, you had the creation of D-Generation X. DX coming to fold, man. Being the rivals of what is cool in NWO. We had DX and WWE. I really think this was a fun year, and I think this was a pivotal year in pro wrestling just because, like I said, alternative, I love AEW a lot, and I think they are a big reason of why I watch wrestling and I got back into wrestling within my late 20s to my early 30s now, right, when the last 5 years. But some about that era in that 90s and that Attitude Era that just holds a lot of special place in my heart. And that was just the time frame as me as a little kid watching it glued to my TV screen. It was just cool, man, watching it with my big brother because my parents are foreigners and not knowing what the fuck is on the TV screen type of situation. It's just 97, man. So I got to go with 97. All of y'all picking like recent ass fucking years too. It's crazy. Josh picked the most further out year, and he's the youngest out of everybody in the panel until I came out. So
2019.
Yeah, but also doing that, you also kind of showing your age, Chad. So it's
Yeah, bro, I was
Hang on
3 in
one second,
97.
Hang on 1 second, lads. Hello, police. It seems one of the nursing home residents has escaped. Seems to be on the loose. Might be missing
No
their
need for that.
full
Come on.
time.
I'm
No need
only
for
2
that, sir.
years older. I'm only 2 years younger than Shad. But yeah, I think genuinely it was just missed it. 'Cause like I say, I was like 3. But I remember I had VHSs of like the 99 pay-per-views. And yeah, 2001 nearly got that shout for me. Because
2001 was on that list, and honestly,
Mm.
like no bullshit, 2019 was also, as of recent years, that was a special year for me because that is kind of like when I kind of start watching this shit a little bit more active again because I went to that first Dynamite in 2019, like right before the pandemic struck, like months later, obviously, right when we get to 2020, but
Yeah.
but like yeah, I mean, and then who knows? Like, I feel like wrestling gets better every year. Like even to this year, we hit like some high quality shit with the Rock Final Boss stuff at Mania in Philly, and then the Danielsons match with Swerve and all that, and then like all of that shit. So yeah,
all in by all accounts from you guys that went as well. Although it might not have sold as many seats, it was a better put together show than it was the
100%.
previous
Yeah,
year. So
100%.
like that, they might not be selling more seats, but there's still the product's in a better place, I guess, which is a good thing.
100%.
I think as well with modern wrestling, it's always either maintained or continued to be good. Like there's not been an
Mhm.
overall downgrade of it across the board. Like it's not like a 2017 or a 2018 where everything was shit. Like Impact was on Pop TV at that time, or WWE created
Yeah.
shit, or the NWA was just a sparkle in Billy Corgan's eyes. Like everything is still at a very good level. There's not been a universal drop.
Mhm.
Whenever that time comes, who knows? But right now, we're all riding on a high across all fandoms.
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
the accessibility, I think, is a huge thing. Like back when we were younger, it was hard to kind of see highlights. Now, if I've missed a show, I don't go on my phone for 2 hours because I will see a highlight whether I want to or not. So it's like you're in that position. So that never used to be the situation we were in. If you wanted to see it, you had to go looking for it, or you had to hope that your parents had either paid for it for one and were okay with you watching it at a certain age as well. So
Yeah.
now I just think we've hit this point where the Attitude Era, like myself, like you, Shad, have hit this 32 age. We're a bit older, and it's like, no, you know what? Like wrestling's cool, and we're the adults now, so we can say that.
It's got a different cool factor now, right? It's got a different type of cool factor, and like to AEW's credit, like if you want to watch great like in ring wrestling, like you gotta watch an AEW pay per view. They blow the competition out the water. Like when he says like the best, if you're speaking in off of a figuratively, saying with the best wrestle, yes, he got some motherfuckers out there that are wrestling their asses off, every time they step into that ring. Like you got a dude like a Will Ospreay who is better than 99.9% people in the ring possibly at the
In the
current
world.
juncture at time.
Yep.
He's 1-on-1.
100%. No, yeah, that's a good year. Sorry, I'm not sure if you mentioned it. Did you, because yeah, you did you say that also the screw job happened that year as well?
That happened in that
happened in
97. Yeah, that did happen. You're right. Yeah.
It did happen in 7
I'm
years.
off
So,
for
yeah.
the brinks of everything with that. That's when Brett was crashing out, man. Because him and Sean was really beefing after that
Poor
thing.
Brett.
Yeah, so no, a lot of shit happened that year. So that's a very good year. Yeah, definitely. The wrestling world definitely turned upside down, especially when that happened. But yeah, those are very notable years. I'm gonna give you my one. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, we discussed about this, as a topic in the GC, and then for some reason I thought that at the time I feel like your favorite year for theme songs. Well, what year should we choose? So obviously I said initially 2001 because in my opinion that had the best theme songs at that time. So, but yeah, in terms of, I've rearranged it now. I've actually said, actually looked at and was giving it a deep thought. And my personal favorite year was in the 2000s, still in the 2000s. But yeah, I think it was the year of the underdogs that, and it was very memorable for that time. So one of them is obviously Eddie Guerrero. Well, sorry, let me just. The year was 2004. Should have started with that. Yeah, the year was 2004. The year of obviously when Eddie Guerrero won the WWE Championship, and a man of who we shall not be no longer named obviously won the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Obviously, at the beginning of that year, he won the Royal Rumble. From number one, won it. At the time, he was obviously the most over person. Obviously, yeah, WrestleMania happened. Eddie Guerrero had that great match with Kurt Angle, great match. And obviously that match with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and he should not be named. Obviously, there was Triple H was still having that crazy beef with Shawn Michaels, and they also had a Hell in a Cell match. One of the greatest rivalries of all time. In my opinion, loved their rivalry. And then so I'm just going through the cards here. Yeah, and obviously when Randy Orton obviously won his champion, became the youngest world heavyweight champion at SummerSlam that year as well. And yeah, it was just so many good things, especially on the Raw side. Obviously with the SmackDown, you had obviously Undertaker fighting JBL for the WWE Championship later down after WrestleMania. And the reign of terror on JBL's side on SmackDown as well. Obviously, you had Triple H, but you also had JBL running things on SmackDown for a decent amount of time. But yeah, I think just creatively, I think they were in the pocket on both shows. Obviously they had you knew who was the mid card and you know who was the main eventers, and they did, in my opinion, a good creative. They were good creatively in that sense, and it was very enjoyable. But yeah, my two favorite moments, it's what my main one would be Eddie Guerrero when he won the championship against Brock Lesnar at No Way Out. Every time I watch that video, anytime they re-upload it on the WWE channel, I watch it back, and I still get goosebumps when you hear that 3 count, and then the crowd is going nuts. It was absolutely memorable. So
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite moments of all time. And obviously that heartwarming moment, obviously it's marred, obviously, but at the end of
Fortunately,
WrestleMania
yeah.
20, it's it could have been one of the greatest photos of all time in WWE history, but obviously it's marred for obvious reasons. But yeah, that's my favorite year, 2004,
I
definitely.
remember that was an incredible mania in that moment.
It was.
It's so fortunate, but yeah, that shit was that was so dope though. I remember I was like 12, and I remember me and we begged our parents to buy the pay-per-view for that, man. Me and my buddy, we had to beg my mom for us to buy that joint, man.
Yeah. Quick question: how much was the pay-per-views back then? Because I know it was like £20 over here. Was it? No, about 20 or 30.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah, I remember it being 1995 at one point for sure. And you got like replays of it.
Probably like $30 or something like that. I forgot.
Really? Oh, yeah, cheap and cheerful. Fair enough. That's not too bad. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
dudes.
Simpler terms.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's good. Let me know in the comments as well, everyone that's watching, to also name your favorite year in pro wrestling, your personal favorite. Before we wrap up, just don't worry, no more games. Just want to get your quick thoughts. As of this recording, the Mr. McMahon documentary is going to be landing less than 24 hours, probably even sooner than that. For as of this recording, and obviously, just before it dropped, good old Vinnie Mac, wasn't too happy about the documentary, wasn't he? He basically, since God knows how long, he actually popped up on, was it X or Twitter or whatever you want to fucking call that thing, and basically pretty much had a little huff and puff, saying that what they're saying is half the truth, and they're blurring the lines between actually myself and the Mr. McMahon character, and they're mainly putting more focus on my current affair, or not current affair, but the affair that was on, or whatever it was. I should actually have the quote to hand, but I really don't want to really dabble in his thing. But yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on was his reply, like, was it even worth it? Like, are you surprised or not surprised on him actually replying just before it drops? And yeah, does it any harm? Does it do any good? This go first. Chad?
To me, it only has me more, as bad as this sounds. Now I won't say excited, but I have more interest in watching the documentary
Mhm.
because it makes it seem like they are going to, it's not, cut and dry, man. They're gonna go full throttle with the story, and they're not gonna, sugarcoat stuff. And it's typical on him. It's typical of his personality of who he is as a man. He's gonna try to play, put damage control on it in the sense where he's gonna try to protect whatever name that he may feel like he has left. But it doesn't. I don't hold a lot of stuff what Vince says with a lot of merit.
Understandable.
The legal process is the legal process. Obviously, it's an active case. We'll let that run through. But I mean, the man is the character a little bit, from what I understand. Like everything, showcased in that, with the legal parameters of everything that's going on, kind of mirrors of what he portrayed as a on-screen character. And
100%.
sometimes you sink into that reality. Sometimes you become that person. So it's gonna be of interest, but I don't think he did anything that helped him. It's just Vince being Vince.
Yeah, no, I agree. It definitely, considering obviously what we used to see on screen, and having Trish bark like a dog, and have not seducing, but just kissing the mouth off like certain women's wrestlers in front of his wife and all this stuff. And
Mhm.
obviously you would think that, oh, he's just doing it for the sake of car crash TV, but with all these allegations coming out, and even not just this one, obviously previous ones,
Yep.
in his earlier years, it's just like he's trying to use the Mr. McMahon character as like a crutch or an excuse, to try and say, he's
Defend himself.
trying to defend himself. Yeah, I even tried to get the some of the quote that he said. Yeah, he just said, "Unfortunately, based on an early partial cut I've seen, this doc falls short and takes a predictable path of conflating the Mr. McMahon character with my true self, Vince. The title and promos alone made that evident. A lot has been misinterpreted. Yeah, a lot has been misinterpreted or left out entirely in an effort to leave viewers unintentionally confused. Yeah, it's just, and using typical editing tricks. So yeah, it's really weird to try and. But I agree, it's definitely made you as a viewer be like, oh yeah, I gotta check this shit out. Definitely,
I think it's Vince we're talking about. Like, he might have done it for that reason. He might get a cut the amount of streams it gets, and he wants a load of people to
Well,
watch
he
it.
said
And
apparently there was the report that he wanted
Well,
to
he's
try and
not.
purchase the docu-series.
Yeah, he was trying to buy it. Yeah, he's trying to. I think that statement is a place of concern for him. I think this is
I
the
assume
nail
he'll
in
be
the
concerned.
coffin of
Yeah, I
in
just
a
think
lot of cases.
very much what you said, Charlie. I'm past caring what he says at this point.
I'll say this though. We know other people are going to appear in this documentary talking about him. Like Cena's been advertising it. I think Triple H has been advertising it.
The Rock.
How's it going to look if they praise him in this?
Cena's already
But they kind of did in the
Cena's already sat on a fence about it.
You know what? This may be an uncomfortable conversation in a sense where I think you can understand where their praise is, because they're not praising the man of what he's doing in regards to those actions. They're praising the man that gave him an opportunity in professional wrestling and help them become millionaires throughout the process.
That's true, and we obviously know that, but this is on Netflix. This isn't WWE Network where wrestling fans are mostly going to who know Vince and know the history. This will be public. There will be people who don't know what WWE is. There will be people who don't know what wrestling is. They'll only watch like modern things and maybe even the news, and they'll see Vince McMahon has been accused of vicious sexual assaults. And when they watch this and they
won't
see
surprise me.
big names like maybe glorify or show approval for it, it's going to make some people feel uncomfortable. Now, of course, they were talking about, Vince in their viewpoint, and everyone has their viewpoint of somebody that they admired. And if they do bad things, they do bad things. But we have seen wrestlers that we like and sometimes we respect, maybe not say things that we agree with. Like, I always go back to the old Big Damo quote: sometimes the wrestlers you like are fucking stupid. And it's a fair quote, and at the end of the day, humans make mistakes, and humans will like something that not even the whole public consciousness will agree with. Something else I want to obviously propose with this documentary as well, like I hope it's not like the Mania 40 Behind the Curtain, where it's advertised as this really big thing, and it really wasn't. It was more just a very sloppy passe job, just rehearsing things that we knew with maybe a wee bit of spit sprinkled in. I hope this isn't a shit documentary where it's basically no real going into insight. If it's just like, episode 1 is the territories, and 2 is the Attitude Era, 3 is the PG, 4 is the modern era, and then 5 is like, I don't know if it's 5 or 6 this documentary.
6.
I do hope it has a good structure and a good identity to it. Yes, of course, Vince obviously will say it's all about the Vince McMahon character, the Mr. McMahon character, the Mr. McMahon character. But at the end of the day, wrestling is yourself turned up to 11. It's an avenue for maybe to tell your real self, the self you're not proud to show in public, or things you want to do. And some people get swept up in that fantasy. At the end of the day, obviously, there is a real case going on that's somebody who is alleged that they are hurt, and that's something we need to take obviously very seriously as well. But there will be people who, after they watch this documentary, will be in two minds. They'll still support Vince or they won't. Because heck, when Vince originally got kicked out, he walked out on SmackDown, everybody was cheering for him and saying thank you, Vince. There will be people in that mindset that sadly he can do no wrong. And then there will be people in the mindset that he can do wrong. And it will be interesting to see which voice is more loud at the end of this documentary.
Yeah,
And
Cena's
the one-
already had backlash, hasn't he? Cena's said things that maybe, and
Yes.
and this is very much as to what you said, Saul. This wasn't on Netflix. This was probably in an interview that he got questioned about it, and us wrestling fans saw it, and it wasn't obviously like you guys said. I stand by what he did. It was the man I respected, the man I know, and that kind of angle. And I get it. It's a very difficult position for people like them to be in.
I mean,
But it's
even
no more difficult than the position of the alleged victims.
I mean,
don't think it's right to be.
even I think Foley spoke about it, and he even says, like, obviously he's saying that I don't wish anybody to go through whatever it may. Like, I have my issues with him, and I don't forgive him for all these type of things. But like, kind of one of those situations where like he still has a sense of love for him in a way, and I don't agree with anything he does. I don't fuck with Vince McMahon at all. I hope this does portray a true light where people can see that and whatnot. But I'm not gonna. I can understand where wrestlers like a Cena, like a Rock, even Rock on the PBD podcast last week, he was talking about his first business encounter with negotiating with Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I watched that.
In a conversation like that, right? Like, I'm not gonna think less of The Rock or John Cena or all that, because I can understand with it. I don't think they're condoning that man for what he's done. For now, if it becomes a situation where a person is also, hand in hand with him during these type of things, well, yeah, then it's fuck you after that for sure. Like, that's the kind of thing. And to what Soul even said, I'm curious to say what is even going to be discussed in this documentary.
I feel like it's definitely going to be like a chronological thing. I'm pretty sure the first episode is obviously him growing up and obviously being under his dad, and eventually, buying out WWF and trying to go global, not global, but go public and stop this territorial thing. I think they're going to do that, and then eventually talk about the steroid scandal, and then probably the stuff with Benoit maybe, and then eventually I think the last 2 episodes is more going to be about what's going on currently. I'd say.
You watch.
And say again.
So it's going to be a heavy watch.
It's going to be a heavy watch, and that's the thing. The good thing about it is on Netflix. It's not on the network where they are very known to be, very propaganda. Like I never forget when the Ruthless Aggression series came out, they were all saying like, oh, they could sense the change in the air, and it was time to shake things up a bit. And it was like, no, the actualization was that the ratings were in the pits. You needed a drastic change. Otherwise, you're going to get kicked off the network. So that's why you randomly did this thing, and you just kind of just gradually just did it from there. It wasn't like you were trying to be ahead of the curve. It was nothing like that. And they tried to portray this thing like, oh, they were ahead of everything. No, that's another thing. So the fact it's on Netflix, and obviously everyone was saying that, why they're doing this so close to, to the fact that they're about to go on Netflix themselves in January. I mean, WWE is doing everything they can to scrub their name away from Vince McMahon. The fact that they already had the Netflix team front row last night on Monday, and fucking even I was even watching on the WWE Vault channel. They did this thing, a long rivalry with Batista and Triple H. They even showed when they did the double elimination with Batista and Cena.
All right,
Completely scrubbed the thing with Vince. Did no mention of it. It's just like they fell out, quick flash, and they were back in the ring, and it was like we're restarting it.
Edge's stories about that already.
And I think ultimately that's the best thing. Like I'm glad that we are kind of turning a leaf, starting this new TKO era, and keeping it a positive place where people can just do what they need to do, and us as fans don't gotta worry about that nasty man.
Yeah.
And the fact is that Netflix are more than happy to promote this documentary. Like they're doing trailers for it. Like if I load up my Netflix on my PS5, is one of the first thing that's advertised for release tomorrow and everything. So it shows that Netflix are not like, but we'll still promote this. We'll still advertise and all that, even though we have WWE coming there, because I don't think they'll think it's going to hurt the bottom line. Obviously, I mentioned the public consciousness, like how are people going to react if we see things like do-rag Vince with the Booker T thing and John Cena? Like how are people going to react to that? How are people going to react to
it's there. I mean, it's there though.
Storyline with Stephanie that was proposed about her child as well. Like how are people going to react to sort of stuff like that?
They spoke about that like in some sort of like I've
heard that
seen that
before
or
something
a little while ago. Yeah.
Whether it was a rumor or not, I don't know, but I've definitely seen the whole.
I mean, what's it been like for you guys in the States, Josh and Shad? Have you guys ever is Vince really much in the public consciousness and like Fox News or CNN or that, or that no one gives a shit?
No, it's not that big.
It was hot at
election
the time.
2024, boys. Election 2024. Let's go.
It was. Well, I mean, his wife, legal wife, was the last McMahon thing I heard in that spectrum was Linda speaking at the RNC. But in regards to him, no. Besides, obviously, when the Wall Street Journal story came out, that's when it was a big thing. But now it's kind of
because nothing really is happening. Obviously, we're hearing little segments, but nothing really groundbreaking is happening. And we do know that Janelle Grant is not in this documentary. She didn't want to be part of this kind of doc. She wanted to tell her own thing, and obviously while it's ongoing, so that's fair enough. But yeah, like I said, these things are coming out incrementally, and then that's why it's I guess that's why it's not the hot thing. But yeah, either way, I'm still gonna be watching it and see if there's anything revolutionary that we have, because as wrestling fans, surely I think it's safe to say that we know a majority of his controversies and all that stuff. I think we're more curious to find out what other wrestlers say about him, and if there's a chance, if the big people like Rock and them are going to say anything about what's going on currently. So yeah, that's what we're more.
I just fucking hope for the love of sweet Jesus Christ, TK doesn't fucking tweet about this shit. Like, hey, you just seen that Mr. Romantic?
Oh, you know he's going to.
Yeah, watch Grand Slam on Wednesday night.
Man, he need to watch the all 22 on his Jaguars last night because they got bigger worries than.
It'll literally be an image of TK at his MacBook with like Bryan Danielson at the window, like, no, TK, don't do it. And like Interstellar with like, you know, like how he's like,
no, don't do it.
Don't make that tweet. Don't make that tweet.
What about you, Josh? Do you have any thoughts on this? I see you quiet down there, so I was wondering if do you have any thoughts on what's going on? Are you going to be watching the show?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's going to be a tough watch because, you know, it's the guy that, you know, especially since I was a kid watching, you know, it's the guy that, you know, he made WWE. You know, he's been the guy that made all of our childhood, you know, our best memories, and now you're hearing all this shit, and it's just like, what the fuck, and then it keeps coming out, and then once all this shit came out, then you really started aligning things like the racist stuff and all the sexualizing the girls on TV and shit like that, and kind of all just made sense. Yeah, I think that, you know, the comment that he made, it was just like, yeah, no shit, like they're gonna like, no shit, they're not gonna talk about how good of a booker you are when there's allegations against you, like of being a fucking predator or whatever it is, like hush money, like, yeah, they're not gonna like, I don't know what he's complaining about in this quote, like, yeah, they're gonna edit it that way because that's the story, because you're that horrible of a person. So I don't know why I mean, I understand why he tweeted it because it's him tweeting it, but I don't know what he thought it was gonna do or if people were really gonna take his side. It's just dumb, and he's just not a good person, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah,
I'll wrap up with one final thing on this. I've just done some research. The documentary releases tomorrow at 3 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay. What is that in UK time?
That's 8 o'clock. Yeah.
In the morning.
Just time to work. Lovely stuff. Watch that one.
It's my day off tomorrow. I am binging the fuck out of that and let y'all know.
And they're releasing all the episodes at once.
All at once. Yeah.
Netflix. That's all Netflix does, man. Yeah, they're sending them all out, boy.
All right.
Yeah,
group chat's gonna be.
We're gonna wake up to that WR group chat, and it's gonna be like, bro. You see
on a serious note, though, right? And this is why I definitely want to watch it and get my head around as many of the facts as I can, because as a wrestling fan, when things like this happen, I find myself having to defend myself, because as stupid as it is, there's people out there that are as stupid to enough oh, you like wrestling, you must like Vince, and it's like, no. We all hate him. We all hate him.
Yeah.
Like it's completely the opposite.
We fucking hate Vince. I like the White Claw workaholic TK. That's the guy I like.
Definitely white something. But yeah,
there's a level of it, and it happened like weird. We've come back around to this. Shad touched on it. The Saudi Arabian government before, as a Newcastle fan, when we got bought by the Saudi government, all of a sudden, I was facing all sorts of stuff from my mates. I was like, lads, I'm still the same person. Like, what's gone on? Just because?
No, you're not. You shaved your mustache and you changed.
Yeah,
back now.
They love money, man. The WWE loves Vince. He is the ultimate bad guy, and I guess we'll see that, you know, figuratively, obviously, as the heel character as Mr. McMahon, but sure we'll also see it within his real life personality on it too. So yeah.
Just a quick sign off as well. Just quickly before we wrap up. Could this quite possibly in sports be one of the biggest downfalls? Because obviously you see stuff like this with that, you know, in NFLs, and you know, owners saying some racist stuff. I can't remember what the guy was. He was saying some racist stuff with his then girlfriend or wife, saying she doesn't want to hanging around with, you know, black people, all that kind of stuff.
What is that? Sterling, Donald Sterling on the Clippers.
That was quite big. But I mean, like in terms of, you know, in sports and I guess entertainment, is this quite possibly one of the biggest downfalls, if not the biggest downfalls?
Yeah,
you know, because Vince McMahon is so synonymous with WWE. You know, it's since from the ground up for so long.
This is a guy, whether we, you know, hate it or love it, this is a person that ushered in something that is brought maybe besides all of us into the landscape of what we do, right? Being fans of WWE and professional wrestling. I mean, even with AEW, his fingerprints inspired a lot of what happened during that time, where a lot of those people over there, and then a lot of people who are on the roster and stuff. So, he's made a lot of people a lot of money, a lot of characters, all of that, and for him to just be that grimy of a person, and it like hit everything, that the demise of him where he retired, came back, and this came out, and then they kicked him out, and then he sold the WWE. Like, that was like a crazy snowball effect that it
100%.
caught me off guard. I always thought Vince was a creepy motherfucker, even as a kid, with the whole, like you said, with the Trish stuff, with like the Tori Wilson and the Sable and all of that stuff. But like, you get older, right? We were watching that as kids. It's just whatever.
Yeah.
It's fucking softcore porn at that point, right? So what you see and you're like, that's really weird, especially because you're married, and then you hear all of it, and you see it all aligned. It's sad, man. It really is sad to see, but that's why it's gonna be interesting to watch, and a lot of it, I do like a lot of those dark side things. I always find myself interested to watch it because I want to hear about it and all that stuff. But sometimes I do go off like, fuck, man, like that shit like sucks, man. Like you watching the Benoit one during the pandemic, I was like, fuck, bro, like fuck this dude, man. But like,
I'll say real quickly, I think for American, like from my sporting knowledge, I think like for you saying like downfalls or tragic stories, I think for American, the only one I think from my personal point I could rival to is the Will Smith movie on concussions about the NFL that released a couple of years ago. That was quite prominent for that. And I think for the UK, the only thing I can think of that sad, dark tone is the Channel 4 documentary on Hillsborough. That was, I think, a good while after the tragedy.
We had like, I almost don't even want to say his name. He was that much of a sick, horrendous bastard. But like we had Jimmy Savile, didn't we? In the entertainment industry, and somebody that was like photos of him shaking the Royals' hands and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like it was that level of stature within the industry. And just the BBC in general, just
like we've had some tragic sides on the sports sides, but I definitely think in recent years this Mr. McMahon's documentary could be up there in the most recent times. But I think obviously different people with their different perspectives will react to it with a different potency of emotion.
100%. And keep in mind, Vincent said he's only seen a partial cut. So God knows what the rest is, baby.
He's gonna tweet. He's gonna tweet tomorrow and say, "Oh, you know what? I was wrong. Go and watch it. It's
my bad, guys."
Good light. It's just weird. It was a stupid tweet. Everybody else is still gonna watch it. Who's gone? Oh, I'm not gonna watch it now.
What the fuck is Cornette gonna say on it? That's what I want to know. What the fuck is Cornette gonna say?
Oh boy, no holds barred.
You have a field day.
Shit. It's not worth the dollar it's printed on. You know?
He's gonna have a day on that for sure.
Yep.
I'm gonna.
Is Bischoff not on it as well?
I don't know.
I'm sure I saw Bischoff talking about him on the.
I don't know. I shouldn't. It's an easy get. I mean, why not? I mean, that guy has been.
He'll fucking do anything. He'll do anything for $1 nowadays.
Exactly.
The amount of times he's been an AW. And
Cornette is. I think Cornette is in it. Ain't he?
He is.
He was in. He was. I thought he was in the trailer. I thought.
Yeah, he is. Of course, he will get any chance. He will. Yeah, definitely.
Another guy.
But we can go on and on and on. But yeah, I'm gonna end it right there, guys. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us at the table, Soul, Jordy, Shad, Josh. Welcome back. Obviously, you are welcome to the table anytime. Like I said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You know what? Actually, to prove that you guys have actually watched this episode, I'm gonna ask y'all to put a word in the comments. What word can we think of them to actually put in the comments to prove that they actually watched to the end?
Documentary.
What is it? Documentary.
Meniscus. It's Vince towards meniscus at the Royal
Meniscus.
Rumble.
So random.
I don't think that's a bit of a tricky word to say. Documentary. Yeah. Let's do that.
That's good.
Yes, meniscus. I think that'd be a bit too tricky. But yeah, no, fair enough. Oh no, quad.
Wrestling
This is the
fans
quad.
can't spell.
Quad, yeah,
Yeah.
popped quads.
Quad, yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Quad.
Type in quads if you made it to the end. And yeah, obviously like, share, and subscribe while you're at it. But until then, I have been yours, Chaos. He has been Soul. Further over there has been Jordy in the bank. Down below is Shad. And last but not least, Josh. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Learn how to spell meniscus, guys. Come on.
Wrestling fan.
It's chaos.